and the two shall become one. Also, Ephesians chapter 5, it paints a picture of how marriage reflects Christ and the church. So, my question is, what do you think? I'm asking these questions so that they can open our minds up as we get into tonight's topic, which shall be handled by our Rev. So I want us I want to ask this question based on the book of Genesis and on the book of Ephesians chapter 5. What do you think it means to live and cleave in this context? What do you think that means? What do you think that means? Or let me make it a little bit simple. If marriage reflects Christ and the church, how serious should preparations be? How serious should preparations be? Muting their microphones, but number one, by first raising your hand. Muting their microphones, but number one, by first raising your hand. You tell me, what do you think it means to live and to cleave? And if marriage reflects Christ and the church, how serious should preparations be? Just think about it, and if you feel like you would want to give an answer a maximum of 45 seconds, you can raise your hand so that perhaps you can share your view on that. What do you think it truly means to live and cleave in today's context? What do you think that truly means? Anyone who would want to? Andrew, karibu sana Andrew. We can have Andrew and then Nyokabi. Karibu sana Andrew.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. On my take of living and cleaning, you have to be psychologically and physically leaving your home and leaving your parents' residence and living by yourself and living with going and getting married to your wife and building your own family. And in this case, you cannot build your family based on how you are raised, because in marriage you are two different individuals creating your own family, and you cannot build your family based on your family or your wife's family. This is your own family, and as a man, being a priest and the head of the house, you should lead by example, and in form of provision. That is where you provide the leadership and all that, and that is why you cling to your own wife, so that you can provide everything pertaining leadership, provision, food, security, and all that. And that's why you leave your own father and mother. Not that the wife is and in this context, I would say the wife doesn't necessarily leave, because you are also fathering your wife. Because in most cases, the father is the one who hands over the daughter to the man. That means you are still fathering the wife as a husband. And in matters finances and how serious should we be in matters of Christ and his church, the love of Christ to his church, that is what we should be doing, because he commands us in the book of Ephesians that husband, we should love our wives just like how Christ loved his church. And in this case, most people confuse the two, because Christ himself says we should love our wives. And in our era, most young men have lost the way and interpret, just because we should love our wives, they should love us back. No, the book the Bible clearly says we should love our wives just like our Christ loved the church, and wives should submit to the husbands, and not because not in submission. It comes in different forms, but it doesn't necessarily mean toxicity. No, it doesn't mean toxicity. You should submit to the authority that God has given to the man. You are submitting to the authority, not necessarily to the human nature, but to the authority. Just like how we submit to our president, to our bishop, our pastor, our archdeacons, our area deans, our reverends, our evangelists, our lay readers, just like how we submit to the authority, that is how submission looks like in marriage. That's my take.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Andrew. That was indeed very, very detailed and very, very insightful. Ni kutoka kwenyu, ni kutoka kwenyu na kuanzisha nyumba yako na familia yako na yule ambaye Mwenyezi Mungu amekubariki naye. And I have loved how you have ended it. Nikiweza iparaphrase ni kama mwanaume kupenda mke wake sio kusimp, ni upendo ambao Mwenyezi Mungu ametuambia tuwapende, na submission again does not mean toxicity. Thank you, Andrew, even because of the more elaborate points that you have shared with us. We can have lastly Nyokabi Apollos.
Hi everyone. I hope mnanisikia.
We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. My version is really simple, very short. I feel like living and cleaving is you as an individual with your values, aspects, and morals, everything about you, clinging to somebody who complements whatever you have, and you start your own thing together as two without um without influence from other people. And then your spouse
Or is
essential
it
for a
on my
wedding,
end alone?
and especially putting it in Christ, because oh,
Yes, we can hear you.
I was saying that if it's
Guys, can you hear Nyokabi or we have lost her? Can you hear? If you can hear, okay, we can't hear you Nyokabi. Sorry, and the way ulikuwa unaleta point yenye ni fiti yaki. Maybe you can check on your network. But what I have been able to get from her is that living and cleaving means not only physically living, but living with your whole being. Yeah, it's living, getting emotionally, mentally, psychologically. Where umetoka, because you can live physically from your folks' houses, from your parents' houses, lakini ukue psychologically bado uko kule. We ukiwa na wife yako ama wife yako anakushinda akikuchapia na mama yangu na baba yangu wanakuanga hivi na vile na vile, so hapo umelive physically lakini emotionally haujatoka, psychologically bado haujatoka, bado uko kule. That is the point nimepata from Nyokabi before a break. So maybe Nyokabi, you can check on your net, alafu is your net good now?
I think so. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can. Okay, sawa, pole sana. So allow me now to ask the final question before I hand it over. allow me to ask the final question before I hand it over. In a wedding, does the size of a wedding, that is how big the wedding is or how small the wedding is, determine the longevity of the marriage? Does the size of the wedding determine the longevity of the marriage? Does it huyu ameweka in caps. Kwani Masi unataka kufanya wedding dog? No, in caps. Okay, thank you. No. I prefer having a wedding of 20 people. Wow, amazing. Of course not. Okay. Yes, Cheryl says yes. The size of a wedding determines the longevity of the marriage. I'd really want to hear her perspective. I'd really want to hear Cheryl's perspective. No way, Eugene anasema no way. Thank you so much, Eugene. I'd really love to hear Cheryl's perspective. Cheryl, can you talk for less than a minute, please? Ma ilikuwa typing error. Cheryl, if you're there. Okay, sawa. So I can see most of the answers that we have given ni no. The size of the wedding does not determine the longevity of the marriage. And I have seen also most of us here, I've seen some of us in giving those answers. Ni Levit nimeona amesema ana prefer kufanya wedo ya wasembao. Yeah, nimeona Levit anasema ana prefer kufanya wedding ya wase, only 20 people. So the size of the wedding does not determine the longevity of the marriage. I see that is the answer that has been given by all of us except one, ambaye I think labda ilikuwa typing because ilikuwa nataka kusikia her view on the same. So brothers and sisters, I want to sincerely thank you for the input that you have given us concerning weddings. It all started from us asking ourselves what comes into our minds when we think of a wedding, when we think about a wedding. And the vocabulary that I have seen is stress, budget, partner, and the like. And the questions went a bit further, and we asked ourselves, when should wedding preparations really begin? Is it after engagement, or is it long before that? And we had